Hello, this is News Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, bandits attack Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, killing 2 officers and abducting 1. Governor Umaru Fintri of Adamawa State evacuates over 150 students from University of Jos. Nigerian tourism industry in losses. 770,000 jobs as a result of the outbreak of the COVID-19. The International Monetary Fund says COVID-19 can derail economic recovery and wipe out over $4.5 trillion from GDP by 2025. Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us. Here are stories we are tracking at this hour. I'm Michael Nath. We begin with the sad development in Kaduna, where Nigeria's foremost military university, the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, was on Tuesday attacked by bandits. The bandits invaded the permanent site of the institution, located along Airport Road, Afaka, in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State, around 1 a.m. A source narrated the hoodlums were dressed in military camouflage, beat the guards, and headed for the officers' quarters of the institution. 2 officers were reportedly killed, while the bandits abducted 1 of them. Now, meanwhile, the authority of the Nigerian Defense Academy has explained the circumstances leading to the attack on the university. The university explained that the security architecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy was compromised early this morning by unknown gunmen who gained access into the residential area within the academy in Afaka. The Academy, in collaboration with the First 1 Division Nigerian Army and Air Training Command, as well as other security agencies in Kaduna State, said it has, however, commenced pursuit of the unknown gunmen within the general area with a view to tracking them and rescuing the abducted personnel. Now, the executive governor of Oyo State, Engineer Seyi Makinde, on Monday hosted the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, who visited the governor on a courtesy visit. Makinde, while playing host to the Army Chief and his entourage at the executive chamber of the governor's office on Monday, 23rd in Ibadan, commended the Nigerian Army for their support and cooperation with the present administration.
And appreciate you, sir, for all the things you have been doing for the Nigerian Army in particular, and indeed other services and other security agencies. I'm talking particularly in terms of your reach out to us to improve our well-being, including where you touch, our environment, provision of light, I must mention, your touch on our commanded secondary school, and other provisions also you are doing to us. Operation Boss, for example, I know covering only some part of the state. It's my prayer that it should be extended to cover other areas. The Chief Security Officer of the state, the Executive Governor, knows where it is biting and the incidences and activity we have been having. So there is need to probably expand it further to also other areas.
The Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khali Baba, has met with the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, at the government house in Benin City. Addressing the governor, the IGP said he is in the state to meet with the officers and men of the police to have first-hand information of how the officers are faring in terms of welfare and mobilization. He also called for more collaboration in the area of community policing as it rates Edo high in such regards. Governor Umaru Fintri of Adamawa State has vowed to continue in ensuring the safety of the people of Adamawa State, both at home and abroad. The governor gave this a commitment after the successful evacuation of students of Adamawa State studying at the University of Jos, Plateau State.
We were threatened by lots of activities. I think that is the reason why the government had to impose the 24 hours curfew. like 5 students died, not from Adama, and that was the reason why the curfew had to be imposed. And there are a lot of students who got missing because the situation got them not in their houses, not in their hostels.
First of all, we want to appreciate the effort of His Excellency, because this time around is the third time that he is proving to the entire citizens of Adamawa State that he is truly a governor of the student, in which we believe in, giving us the assurance that our students will be taken back to school when there is an insecurity. And this time around, he is bringing back our student from University of Jos.
Since the beginning of the crisis in Jos, the governor is restless. That is why we have been running up and down to make sure that we evacuate our students back home. And also, it is a concern of the government to make sure that this student has come back safely. I want to add that it is our responsibility to make sure that everybody in this state and our people there in Jos are protected.
Now, the Department of State Service has approached the Court of Appeal challenging the ruling of the Federal High Court, which granted bail to 12 aides of Sunday Igboho. The appeal particularly challenges the bail granted to 4 out of the 12 aides. Counsel to the DSS, David Awo, made this known today at the Federal High Court church presided over by Justice Obiora Egwatu, after withdrawing the application earlier filed seeking to cancel the bail granted to 4 of the applicants. Counsel told the applicants did not oppose the application. The application was accordingly struck out by Justice Obiora. Now, the campaign against the practice of female genital mutilation and cutting has continued to yield positive results as a daily basis, particularly in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, which is one of the communities with high records of FGM practice. The executive director of the New Generation Girls and Women Development Initiative, Bimbola Adejare Salako, who also spoke through Zoom, shared her experience and urged people to desist from the practice.
There will be fever, there will be bleeding, there could be infection, there could be spread of infection also. This one that will lead us to the second complication, the long-term complication. And when there is spread of infection, you will have what we know as infertility. You can also have what we call vesicovaginal fistula. We have what we know as rectovaginal fistula. We have what we also known as birth complications. We have obstetric complications.
Some of these things are out of ignorance, but definitely it's normal. We see one or two people that will say, well, I don't think, I'm not sure, I'm going to stop it. But by and large, a lot of people have agreed. And today, all the stakeholders here pledge their commitment that in their communities personally, they will speak against it.
I mean, it's a very timely product that has been taken to the community. And they have tried to sensitize the people to disabuse their mind of the fear that something could happen negative if children, female children, are not circumcised. But
Governor Bello Matawale of Zamfara State has approved the appointment of Kabiru Mohammed Gayari as the new head of a service of the state. Now, the appointment follows the elevation of the former head of service, Kabiru Balarabe, to the position of the secretary to the state government. In a statement signed by the Director General, Media, Public Enlightenment and Communications Government's Office, Yusuf Idris, says the appointment is with immediate effect. Governor Bello Matawale enjoined the new head of service to use his wealth of experience and bring positive change in the state service. Now, until his appointment, Kabiru Gayari was the permanent secretary, Ministry of Finance, and one of the longest-serving permanent secretaries in the state. The tourism industry in Nigeria lost 770,000 jobs as a result of the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and its effect across the country, the World Travel and Tourism Council said on Monday. It disclosed this through the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, adding that about $4.5 trillion was lost by the industry globally due to the impact of the deadly virus. Regional Director WTC Andrew Brown said this in a statement that was made available to our correspondent in Abuja by the NASG on the group's recent forum that focused on the development of Nigeria's tourism and hospitality sectors. In his goodwill message at the forum, Brown stated that before the outbreak of COVID-19, travel and tourism encountered of 330 million jobs worldwide, and that the figure was projected to grow to 440 million by 2030. He encouraged operators in the industry to adopt safe travel steps and implement protocols that would help travelers feel safe when they travel. Coming up next is business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Frank Omalape. And now the federal government has disclosed plans to unveil the Medium-Term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 in October. According to the Minister of State for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, the plan is aimed at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty and ensuring economic stability, development and good governance. The development plans is coming 10 months after the expiration of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan from 2017 to 2020. The ERGP, which was introduced in 2017 by the federal government, was deployed to restore growth, invest in people and build a competitive economy, grow the gross domestic product of the country by 7% in 2020. And now the Central Bank of Nigeria recorded a shortfall of 378.5 billion naira in loan repayment by beneficiaries under the Anchor Borrowers Program in 6 years. Data obtained from the APS Bank have shown. Findings shows between November 2015, when the Anchor Borrowers Program scheme was introduced, and November 2020, the CBN executed a total of 2.3 million projects under the program and disbursed 497.2 billion naira to farmers. However, data obtained from the CBN's fourth quarter 2020 economic report showed that only 118.7 billion naira had been repaid by the beneficiaries within the review period. Away from there now, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, on Monday said communication and digital sector generated over $1 trillion to the federal government between 2019 and 2021. The minister also hinted that the FG or 5G technology was 95% ready, adding that a national policy on its deployment will soon be presented to the Federal Executive Council for approval. Speaking at a book presentation, Pantami maintained that the digital economy remains the best opportunity for the country to create many jobs, particularly where there are challenges of unemployment on the other hand and unemployability on the other hand. Away from there now, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance has rejected the 1.33 trillion naira target revenue by the Nigerian Customs Service for the 2022 fiscal year. The committee at the 2022 to 2024 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper in an interactive session with ministries, departments and agencies said the amount was low. Leke Abejide, representing SDP Kogi, said that with the recent devaluation of the naira, he had expected that the proposal of the NCS should be about 2 trillion naira and above. He said the exchange rate for 2021 was 381 naira to the dollar and the targeted revenue generation was around 1.6 trillion naira, adding that the service should factor in the devaluation of the naira and increase their target. And in the meantime, Lagos, Ogun, Kaduna and other parts of the country have been thrown into darkness as the electricity transmission system, popularly known as the National Power Grid, has suffered yet another collapse. The latest collapse is the second in the last 26 days. The collapse, which was confirmed by two of the electricity distribution companies in the country, has disrupted business and household activities in other major parts of Nigeria. The grid had on July 28, 2021 suffered a total collapse, which the Transmission Company of Nigeria attributed to the loss of 611 megawatts at two power stations, included a co-electricity distribution company and Kaduna Electric. And it's time to flip over now to African business news. Treasury's head of tax and financial sector policy, Ismail Momoiniat, says that the government is in consultations to introduce a new retirement system that will allow people to access a portion of their savings early. Speaking in Parliament's Standing Committee of Finance on early today, Momoiniat said that Treasury is now close to agreeing to the new plan, with talks ongoing with unions and retirement funds. Momoiniat described the new retirement plan as a two-part system which allow for limited withdrawals but still allow for fund preservation and ensure that people still have enough money for retirement. And in Ghana, the Jomoro CPP parliamentary candidate in the December 2020 elections, Patrick Ekwesili, has reminded the government and operators that the discovery of oil and gas in the Tano Basin has not benefited the people of Jomoro. Ekwesili, in a press release, noted that though the discovery of oil itself does not automatically translate into development, the strategies and economic framework and policy decisions of the government must create the enabling environment for investment. It lamented that there is growing despondency among the youth in Jomoro as a result of the national neglect being experienced by people around the oil rig. And on the foreign scene, International Monetary Fund has raised the alarm over the effect of COVID-19 variants, saying that they can derail economic recovery and wipe out over $4.5 trillion from global gross domestic products by 2025. This is contained in a transcript of the World Economic Outlook update released recently by IMF. According to the report, financial conditions could also tighten abruptly if there is a sudden reassessment of the monetary policy outlook, especially in the United States. However, it added that a worsening pandemic and tightening financial conditions will inflict a double blow to emerging markets and developing economies and severely set back their recoveries. And in the meantime, Asian stock rose along with the U.S. and European equity futures Tuesday on optimism over the U.S. vaccination drive and ongoing economic support from central banks. Treasuries dipped and the dollar had a drop. And the Asian Pacific share gauge was set for the best two-day climb since February, helped by a rebound rather in Chinese technology stocks. JD report says that JD.com Incorporation sold after the e-commerce giants resort with Beijing's regulatory clampdown. A vow from China's central bank to boost credit support aided sentiment. U.S. and European equities feature edge up after American stocks extended a rebound on full approval, while the Pfizer Incorporation biotech are short. The more profitable a flip from the reflection trade as it raises the prospect of more vaccine mandate to underpin economic reopening. And Treasury use tick up as traders await the Jackson Hole meeting. Oil steady following a jump of more than 5%, with rates from COVID-19 still lingering. Gold held near the highest level in over 2 weeks. Markets are in a more optimistic mood compared with last week, when doubts over the pace of the recovery were prevalent. Traders are waiting the report after the Federal Reserve plans to scale back stimulus. And finally, oil prices rose on Tuesday after the U.S. drug regulator granted full approval to the Pfizer Incorporation biotech COVID-19 vaccine, stoking investor hopes that higher fuel demand will follow a potential step up in U.S. coronavirus vaccination rate. Brent crude oil futures gained 21 cents or about 0.3% to $68.96 a barrel early in trade, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures increased by 14 cents to $65.78 a barrel. Both benchmarks jumped more than 5% on Monday, helped by a weaker U.S. dollar after marking their biggest week of losses in more than 9 months last week. Well, and that's all we have for you on business news at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. It's back to you now.
Thanks very much, Frank. Coming up now is Sport Business with Jidechi.
Welcome to the Sports Business Update. I am Jidechi Chidi, and now Serie A sides and champions of last season, Inter Milan, has renewed their sponsorship with pasta brand La Molisana for a further 2 seasons, taking them through to the end of the 2022-2023 season. La Molisana, who have been a club partner since 2019, will keep its designation as Inter's official pasta and will expand its involvement by becoming the official women's team partner. No value was given for the extension. Celebrating Inter's 19th Scudetto, Molisana designed a limited edition pack for its spaghetti product that was wrapped in a special packaging based on the IM Scudetto design concept. And moving on to other stories, English top flight side Leeds United have announced a new partnership with energy drinks brand Boost's Drink. The Leeds-based company signed a 1-season deal with the Yorkshire outfit, becoming the club's official energy drinks partner for the 2021-2022 campaign. The agreement also secured Boost with branding in and around Leeds Elland Road Stadium, as well as the Top Arc training ground. A range of Boost's products will also be available at the stadium on match days and in official Leeds United retail stores. The Premier League club will also promote the brand across its digital and social media channels and work with the brand on fan initiatives. And that's all for now on the Sports Business Update. It's back to you, Michael.
Jidechi, many thanks. Entertainment business news is up next. Almost 3 million people tuned in to watch Millie Court and Liam Riordan be crowned winners of this year's Love Island on Monday. The pair beat 3 other couples to hit ITV2 show's £50,000 prize. The dating show's finale attracted an average live audience of 2.8 million. That's a 22% drop from the 3.6 million who tuned in to the climax of the last summer series in 2019, but an improvement on the figures for last year's inaugural winter series. This year's series, the first since the program made its winter debut just before COVID hit in early 2020, has been broadcast from its Spanish villa for the past 8 weeks. Millie, a fashion buyer's assistant from Essex, had considered splitting from Welsh bricklayer Liam after he was unfaithful during Casa Amor Week. But the pair reunited to become exclusive. And that's the package today. Thank you very much for watching. I am Michael Nath.